Bien, cuando nosotros grabamos, para la gente que tiene que irse y a beberse un café o tal vez usa el baño para que no pierda la información. Todas las grabaciones nosotros lo vamos a poner en el página de web para que ustedes lo puedan tener. So there, I'm going to pull up now I'm going to share my screens for the slides and then we can go. Okay. Bueno, bienvenidos a todos al Provider Meeting mensual de nosotros. Estamos en octubre. Ya terminamos el mes de gerencia de latinos, pero no vamos a terminar de celebrar nuestras razas. So aquí le voy a dejar un mensaje de Community Language, Andrea.
Gracias, buenos días a todos. Me llamo Andrea, estoy aquí con la Community Language Cooperative y vamos a practicar la justicia del lenguaje para que todos podamos hablar y escuchar en el idioma de nuestro corazón. Tendremos interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español y una vez que aprendamos la interpretación vas a ver un globo en la parte inferior de tu pantalla donde vas a poder seleccionar tu idioma. Si eres bilingüe no tienes que seleccionar un idioma y siempre puedes hablar en cualquiera de esos dos que te sientas más cómodo, pero te pido que empieces y termines cada frase en el mismo idioma para que sea más fácil interpretarlo. ¿Tienes alguna pregunta sobre la interpretación? Puedes hacerla en el chat y también te recuerdo que hables a un paso conversacional, te mantengas en silencio cuando no estés hablando y hables muy cerca a tu micrófono cuando sea tu turno de hablar. Hi everybody, my name is Andrea. I'm here with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language justice so that everybody can speak and hear in the language of their heart or how they feel more comfortable. We're going to have simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish, and once we turn on the interpretation, you're going to see a globe at the bottom of your screen or three little dots where it says more if you're on your phone or tablet. And there you're going to be able to select your language. If you're fully bilingual in English and in Spanish, you don't have to select the language and you can always speak in whichever of those two you feel more comfortable. Just make sure that you start and finish each sentence in the same language so that I can interpret correctly. If you have any questions about the interpretation, let us know in the chat and please speak at a conversational pace. Remain muted when you're not speaking and speak close to your microphone when it's your turn to speak. And we can begin interpretation now.
Gracias, Andrea. Okay, let's see if I remember how to do this. Yeah. Here we go. And,
Si quiere, yo puedo dar las normas de la casa.
yeah.
Ok, hola a todo el mundo. Mi nombre es Rosana Matos. Soy de First Up. Oh, mírame ahí. Soy de First Up y le voy a dar un poco sobre las normas de la casa. Entren, por favor, como les dije anteriormente, su nombre y su correo electrónico en el cuadro de chat. Esto nos ayuda a nosotros a darle seguimiento a nuestra conversación. So, por favor, entre su nombre completo y su correo electrónico en el chat. También permanezca en mute o en silencio mientras hay presentadores. Siempre después de cada presentador va a haber la oportunidad para que le haga preguntas. So, por favor, quédense en mute mientras el presentador presente su información. Pueden usar el chat box o la lista de participantes para subir tu mano cuando tienen una pregunta o pueden hacer su pregunta en el cuadro de chat. Estas sesiones son grabadas y serán puestas en el website de Latinos Educando Juntos. Y por favor, si necesitan interpretación, como dijo la interpretadora, yo necesito una persona
interpretadora.
Que sí,
Interpretadora.
necesito una. Gracias, Juan.
Intérprete, por favor.
Ay, por favor. Para que lo ponga, le pide ayuda en el cuadro de chat si es necesario para que puedan buscar la forma para la información que se está dando en inglés, se la pueda dar en español. Ok, creo que voy bien.
Tu rompehielo.
Y rompehielo. Ok, vamos a ir para... Ay, no los puse ahí, Damari. Oh,
That's okay. I can read it out. I'll read it
yo
out
lo
in
puedo
English.
poner en el chat box también
Yep.
para que lo lean.
Yeah. ¿Qué tipo de desarrollo profesional has aprovechado este último mes o deseando unirte? Solo repito, ¿qué tipo de desarrollo profesional has aprovechado este último mes o estás deseando unirte? So in English, what type of professional development activities have done throughout the month or last month, or that you wish that you have completed. So you could put your answer in the chat, lo puede poner en el chat, or you could unmute. We're a small group. We love to talk to people. I took a DEI training, so that was pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I know, yo sé que yo ofrecí, envié por correo electrónico varias oportunidades que había aquí en línea, pero también algunas que son presenciales. Yo quería saber si alguna persona se aprovechó de esas oportunidades, porque nosotros enviamos esos correos, ¿verdad, Damari? Ofrecemos esos adiestramientos. Sé que Damari, a través de Latino Educando Juntos, tuvo varios que tuvieron en el PA Keys y de gratis en español en este último mes. So, espero que ustedes se puedan aprovechar de esos recursos. Veo algunas respuestas en el chat box.
Hay respuesta en el chat box. You reading it?
Yes,
I didn't get
natural sketching course. Nice.
Sketching course. That's different.
Oh, it'll be live. Okay, live on PA on demand. Okay. And then someone wrote they would like to renew their CDA. Maybe there's some professional development about that. Renewing your CDA and the steps to take, what items that people need to collect. So that'll be
The
good.
how-tos, right? Like
Yes.
yes, that would be great.
Pues yo puedo decir que yo estoy en el proceso de conseguir certificación para dar entrenamiento en Reading y en español para PQAS Certification, yo y una
Yay.
compañera de trabajo, porque es muy importante que podemos dar toda la información que está disponible en inglés, está disponible en español.
Hola, Maddie. Welcome back.
Sí.
Happy 2023.
Qué bueno que mencionaste eso, Mari, porque no somos muchas personas que hablan español y tienen su certificación, so es muy bienvenido y qué bueno. Me crea una idea sobre, yo sé que Damari después en la presentación van a hablar sobre unos forums, right? Quizás ese sea una buena tema para el forum.
No, ya yo apunté el nombre de Mari.
Sí.
Like,
Y
talk to Mary.
sí, Tatiana también me escribió para eso mismo, PQA Certification.
Whoa.
Qué bueno.
Yeah, this is really amazing to see so many Latinas, right, or Latin representation becoming PQAS certified. So kudos to you guys. That's amazing. Love it. Because there's a need. There's a huge need. So I love it that you guys are filling that gap. You want to go into the second question? Did you have any other one? Or Rosanna?
I'm here.
Did you want me to go to the second question or
Oh, yes, please, the
okay.
second question.
No problem. Ok, vamos en español. ¿A cuántas personas les gustaría completar un título superior, un asociado, un bachillerato? So how many on the call would love to complete an associate's degree or a bachelor's level degree that has not done it yet? Or unless you want to bachelor's, 2 masters, 3, whatever it is.
Ahí veo Swani, la primera, a mí.
Yes.
Yo, Marcelino. María me escribe que sí, ella también.
So voy a escribir todos los nombres because I'm going to hold you accountable.
Vamos a creer meta, sí.
Right.
Ahí Tatiana escribió un doctorado, los acompañamos.
Oh,
Cintia,
doctorado.
sí.
Love it. Love it. So we have the right people on the call today, right? For
Yes,
these
we
icebreaker questions. Definitely for professional development from the Better Kid Care, and as well as from Lori, from Teach for the scholarships and talking about scholarships, que son becas que pueden ayudar a ustedes también. So awesome. I want to go back to school too. So I don't know in what, but I'll figure that out one day. Awesome. I know.
Well,
I know.
Damaris,
Yes.
Albright College has a master's program that you can do in 1 year.
Albright College.
Yes, here in Reading, it's all online and you can do it in a year. If you're looking for education and a bunch of other ones that are available, but yes, if you can, yes, for masters,
I'm going to be reaching out. Yes, definitely.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we can definitely benefit from all the colleges and everything that's in one place, right? Like this college speaks, has a hybrid or online 1 year. That's amazing. Or this college, that has Spanish tracks, right? So that way there is more accessibility. And I am all in for creating that list for everybody because I just feel like everybody that we have the information, it's just everywhere. And it's really hard to kind of like get this information all in one place, right? So maybe we should create like a toolkit, like these are the associate's degree programs out there. This is what's teacher approved. This is one that's teacher approved. And I feel like PACA does have that, but yeah. Was somebody saying something? I think that quería decir algo.
No, they were just agreeing with us.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Good. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to read off the chat before we move forward?
No. Just muchas personas de acuerdo que desean tomar un grado asociado, un bachelor's degree.
Yes. So we're holding you accountable. So, lo voy a decir en inglés y puedo decirlo en español if you're not connected. I have a feeling like sometimes people don't connect to the translation. So, le quiero decir en español si están aquí y no están conectados a la traducadora que está aquí,
Okay.
le puede dar el globo abajo en el screen y ahí usted puede ver todo lo que se dice en inglés y en español. And if we are speaking Spanish, you could press your language translation and it's the little world button on the bottom. And then whatever we say in Spanish, you can definitely hear it in English. So I do know my translator is amazing and she goes back and forth. And she's very patient because she knows we speak a lot of Spanish, English, and then we do a lot of Spanglish per se. So then she's very good with moving back and forth. So I just want to make sure everybody understands today's meetings and what we're sharing.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you. Janetta Radzinski, which we call her Netta. She's from Octal, Special Assistant for External Relations. She was here last month for a meeting, and she's going to be at every meeting because she wants to make sure that she's sharing all of the latest updates, certification news, whatever it is, and answer any questions that you guys may have. Unfortunately, Netta is not feeling well today, and she came down with something, and I told her, please don't even bother, stay home. And we'll see you next month. So she does send her apologies. However, she did recognize that there were some questions that were asked before for today's meeting. And she wanted to say that she's going to, as soon as she feels better, she's going to get those answers to those questions and bring them to the next meeting. So, Rosanna, did you wanted to, let's see, I think it was,
Yes, I can read those questions.
Yes, thank you.
Entonces, nosotros le hicimos unas preguntas y ella lo iba a contestar en vivo, pero ahora se va a tomar el tiempo para escribir la respuesta de su pregunta y hacernos llegar esa respuesta. Las preguntas que nosotros le habíamos hecho eran, ¿cómo podemos incorporar todas las actualizaciones de las regulaciones en un archivo para que los proveedores puedan acceder fácilmente y leer para cumplir con las normas? So, ¿dónde pueden organizar todos esos anuncios y actualizaciones de Octal? ¿Cuándo se compartirá con los proveedores la reescritura de las regulaciones? Sabemos que durante el pasado año o más estuvieron trabajando en las regulaciones y volviendo a escribirla y modificándola, ¿verdad? Y queremos saber cuándo se nos va a entregar esas nuevas regulaciones. También la tercera pregunta que le escribimos fue, ¿habrá una oportunidad de comentarios para que los proveedores hispanos, especialmente los de Family Child Care, puedan comentar sobre estas regulaciones, ya luego que están terminadas y entregadas? Estas son las preguntas que nosotros le hicimos y queremos, si dejamos algo atrás o si ustedes tienen otra pregunta, Escríbelo en el cuadro de chat porque queremos recolectar eso y enviárselo para que ella pueda no solamente contestar esta, pero también contestar alguna otra pregunta que ustedes tengan. Pueden escribirlo en el chat para todos o escribirlo directamente para mí o Damaris. No, cualquier pregunta que tú pongas no es muy pequeña ni muy grande. Mejor que sale de duda de que quedarte con esa pregunta por dentro.
Yes, yes. I wanted to just read these questions in English. So the questions that were posed to Netta from Octal was, how can we incorporate all the updates on regulation file so that providers can easily access and read it to be in compliance? So like all the regulation changes or the updates, it's always like a newsletters, but it's very hard for providers to access all in one place. So when will the rewrite of regulations be shared with providers? And the third question was, where will there be an opportunity for comments for the Hispanic providers, especially those in the family child care community, to comment on those regulation rewrites? So, and as Rosanna has stated, we are going to, those are the three questions that we have for Netta so far. And if you have any other posing questions, please put in the chat. We're going to collect that, and then we'll pass it over to her, and hopefully next month she'll be able to really answer those questions. I didn't want to like overkill her with questions, especially she wasn't feeling well. So our blessings are with Netta, and hopefully she will be feeling better and recover soon.
Yes.
Okay. So otra vez en el chat, pueden ponerlo ahí. Okay, and without further ado, it is my complete pleasure to introduce Rebecca Escott from Early Learning Out of School Time Specialist from Penn State Better Kid Care. Rebecca.
So thank you for having me. I think I first met Damaris when I was working in Philly doing some infantile coaching projects, and I had the opportunity to provide some things last summer in June for your conference, and I guess that's how this started. But it is Better Kid Care's wish and privilege to get as much professional development information to people who are Spanish speaking, and also to just have culturally relevant, practical, accessible PD for everyone, including people who identify as Latino or Hispanic. And so that's what we're here just for a couple minutes to kind of share with you, to make sure people know how to get it and know how to ask questions and all those sorts of things. So the next slide talks a little bit about just the scope of what Better Kid Care has. And right now in our on-demand system, which is our online learning system, there are 6,226 people who identify as Latino or Hispanic in the Philadelphia area, in the Philadelphia zip codes. In Pennsylvania, there are more than 22,000, and in our whole system, there are more than 78,000, almost 79,000 people who identify as Latino or Hispanic. And one of the things I just want to share on this call is that sometimes people think Better Kid Care is specific to Pennsylvania, and it's not. It's actually a global online professional development system for people who work in early childhood and out of school time settings. We operate across the globe. So as long as people have an internet access, they are welcome to take professional development through us. And so if you have colleagues or others in other states, other institutions who would benefit from the courses, please tell them about us. And encourage them to access it. One of the things that sometimes people don't know, and it's actually not even on this slide, is in Pennsylvania, almost all our courses are approved for Act 48. So people who might have a teaching certificate and need to keep their teaching credentials, most of Better Kid Care's courses can provide Act 48 credits. So that's something that's important for Pennsylvania. We do have 56 Spanish language courses in our on-demand system. Sometimes people know the health and safety courses, but they don't realize the breadth of the other courses. So all all the required Pennsylvania required health and safety courses are available in Spanish. And that's part of the contract. You know, when we write those courses for Pennsylvania, that's part of the contract. But there are lots of other ones. So the Click to Science courses, which are school age focused, STEM focused, there are 20 of them. They're all translated. Most of our family child care specific courses are translated into Spanish. Our supervision courses are short 1-hour courses. They're translated into Spanish. And there's just some smattering of other ones. But one of the ones that I wanted to point out was there's one that's really important. It's called Diabetes Awareness and Management in Young Children. It talks about how type 1 diabetes presents for young children. And there's a family from Philadelphia that's featured in that course. And so it's available in Spanish. And for anyone who doesn't necessarily know that, it could be a course that could help save a life. You know, that's the kind of thing to recognize a child who might be in distress, that might be struggling because of type 1 diabetes. And so there's just a lot of opportunities out there, and I wanted to make people aware of it. Right now, we have 2 courses that are available free of charge that are in Spanish. And I have to move my little phone thing out of the way again, sorry. These are both related, they're both funded by NACHO, which is the National Association of County and City Health Organizations. And the first one is related to provider well-being, and the second one is related to child vaccines and supporting families as they make decisions about child immunizations. So those are ones that are available free right now that have some importance to them. I also will mention so Better Kid Care is a part of Cooperative Extension, and we have educators who are in the counties who are doing workshops related to talking with families about their hesitancies, maybe their concerns and barriers to child immunization. And those workshops are happening, and I can share that. They also are in the registry. They're free of charge. So you could get these, those workshops are designed for like an hour of credit, kind of like this, where they'll have some small group breakouts, they'll share resources. But I recognize that not everybody that identifies as Latino or Hispanic needs courses in Spanish. You know, lots and lots of people maybe even have English as a primary language. And so just to remind you all, there's 340 courses in our system. And I'm going to show you just some of those. The other thing that I wanted to show is just that there are things that are helpful, informational, that aren't necessarily course or credit bearing. And I was going to mention those as well. If it's possible, Damaris or whoever's sharing the slides, if you stop sharing, then I'll share my screen and just show people. And I'm loving the bits of affirmation that are coming in and actually I think Damaris was talking about Arlene said developmental milestones. I was going to show that as part of what I was going to show today. So, it says the host is disabled screen sharing. So thank you.
I apologize.
No, that's all right. Is there a way to?
Yeah, let me
get
1 second. Sorry, friends. Okay.
So many people just go directly to our on-demand system. And so some people have never even seen our website. So I was just going to try to do that. So this is what our website looks like. If you've never been there, you know, maybe check it out a little bit. And what used to be on the left-hand side is now on the right-hand side. So I have to move things around and share it a little differently. the biggest thing that we'll talk about is this on-demand link. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you other things. So on this left-hand side, there are content areas. And these are related to the core knowledge areas. I know like now that we're following the professional standards, there's a little bit different labeling, and we may eventually migrate to that language, but these are some pretty standard areas that people want to learn in, and you'll see they're like CDA areas as well. So I was just going to show you in child growth and development, they have things like the on-demand courses that people are often interested in, but they also have research to practice articles. There's some vodcasts, which they're like podcasts. They're video and audio pieces, and then other child development resources. And that's actually where, Arlene, that's where the milestones pieces are. So things about social emotional learning, things about temperament, variety of things. And if you look at this, developmental milestones, they are presented age specific in English and then in Spanish. So these are things, you know, it's from our courses. They're handouts from our courses, but this is something that would be really easy to share with maybe a parent that you're planning some wraparound services for, or it's really easy to incorporate into a class or something that you're teaching. The one thing that I would ask and kind of stress is the reason they're available on our website and free is because we're part of an outreach organization. And that's part of our land grant mission as a part of Penn State. So they're available for people to use. People can't do is kind of absorb them as their own and then sell them. Or, you know, you can't incorporate it into like a guide that you're selling, or you can't open up a course and say, this is my material and sign up for the class and pay me $20 for flipping through the screens from Better Kid Care. So, you know, just a caution, a little bit of a caution about that. The other thing I wanted to show in the main website, let me get back to that, is a way to sign up for the newsletter. So if you scroll down to the bottom of all those contact areas, there's a little envelope icon. And if you click on that, you can provide an email and then decide how you want to hear from us. So we have a monthly e-news that usually includes a couple kind of fun articles, and then maybe some announcements about where we're presenting or information that people need. There's also a CDA newsletter. There's an opportunity if you don't want to hear from us all the time, but you do want to know if we have new courses. So there's a new course announcements thing, and there's also a new Spanish course announcement piece that you can select. And that way you can decide what you want to know from us or hear from us. So those are things that I wanted to make sure that people knew. And then if we could, I'm going to just show you how to do a couple things in on demand. Are we still okay with time?
You are perfect
Yes.
time. You have a lot of time.
Okay.
I do wanted to tell you that I didn't know half these things, and I'm always on Better Kid Care, so I'm glad you're sharing.
Yeah, you know, how can you? How can you? There's a lot. So I love being able to do it, and every time we go to communicate about it, it helps us sharpen what we have and make sure things are in order. So I'm showing you how to get to on demand from our main website. And I recognize that most people just go directly there. So if you click on that, and then it's going to take you to a sign in page. Before we show that, I don't know. Let me see if I can get chat up. I can't get chat up. No, I want to stop sharing just for a second and then I'll start again, because one of the things that we do have that I didn't know we had for a long time is we have the instructions for how to get onto our system in Spanish. So I just want to make sure that's in the chat in case that's helpful to people. All right, now I'll go back to sharing the screen for a second.
Oh, I like that it's on one pager too, Rebecca. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I didn't do that. Somebody else brilliant did that. So then when you sign into On Demand, I'm going to put in my credentials, but you would just put in whatever your sign in is. And that's a really important thing to know, because sometimes people created their account 3 or 4 jobs ago and they forget, but we would use that email to be the way we would communicate with you. And that's how you would get any of your credentials or any of your records or correspondence. That's who we think you are. So if you want to update it, you can just update in your profile, like under my name, it would say this little link here about profile. You could change your email address, or something that's a preference. If it was an old work email and you wanted to just go to a Gmail, you could change it there. So a couple things that I wanted to show you. First of all, in this top line, you have the opportunity to click on My Completed Courses, and it shows you that. But also this first link, you can email a transcript of your completed courses. So if for some reason you need to show that you got that link will. The other thing, you get back to just the home.
I'm doing all these things as you're showing them, Rebecca.
Good. Okay.
Right,
The
so it's
other
like
thing that I
real
wanted to
life.
show you is these course level, all these like little pull down menus. So, C1, C2, C3, you can select courses by that. You can select courses by the professional standards. Now, these will be the primary ones. So a 2-hour or 3-hour course will have one standard that's designated as the primary, but it might possibly be standard 5 and standard 2, so the full definition, the full ratings are in the registry, but this will help you if you know you want something related to child observation, you can sort by that. In this filter, that's where you can get lessons in Spanish. So right now, I don't know why it's this way, because I was almost petitioning to have it not be this way. Right now, I believe that none of the titles, if you just say Pennsylvania approved, I don't think there are any Spanish courses listed. And so in order to get the Spanish language courses, you would have to come to this filter. And when you come to that filter, it gives you all of them that are in Spanish. And kind of a qualification or a limitation of it is all the print materials, all the screens are in Spanish, but the videos are not Spanish. So when you play the video, you're still going to hear English interviews or English commentary. So that's the one part that's not, it's not fully Spanish. And there used to be a way, because our videos used to be housed on YouTube, that you could select the Spanish translation. But our videos are now much more secure. They're in a platform called Kaltura. They're not searchable. So it made things a lot safer for the people who are in the videos. But it makes it a little less accessible. And some of them have transcripts associated with them that you could translate, but not all. And then the only other thing is I want to show you that like you could search by a keyword. And so like, I don't know if I spelled family right. There we go. So you could search by a keyword, and if family is in the title or in the description, it will come up here. Sometimes I'll show you another one that makes it work, but not work well. So people know ACEs, like adverse childhood events. So if I put ACEs in there, it will bring up some courses that are related. So like addressing ACEs with brain-based approaches, but it also brings up changing spaces, which doesn't really have anything to do adverse childhood experiences, but it happens to have that ACES in it. So it's not a perfect way, but it's pretty good. So those are the things that I wanted to show. And then I guess I just wanted maybe the next slide is if people who are on the call want to either like unmute or chat, there's some things that I would love to know. So I'm interested in hearing from you how you currently use your Better Kid Care resources. And then particularly what courses do you wish we had? Or, if we have 340 or 40 courses and 56 of them are in Spanish, that means that, 280 some or 90 some aren't. And so I'm wondering if there are some courses that if you had a choice that we could prioritize for translation. So those are some of my questions.
Challenging behaviors.
Challenging behaviors. I think
we have a few, but not enough to really dig deep.
Yeah.
That's definitely something. And something that I've realized or have been hearing a lot is mental health and social and emotional courses, even from adults all the way from to children. It's not readily available to this.
So the prioritizing wellness one is, but there's one that I love. Let me see if I can find it quickly for you. So it's not necessarily in Spanish, but if you haven't taken it, I love this one particular course. And it starts with all the like kind of the adult wellness, but towards the end, it's all about attuning to the child and, taking breaths and considering the child's perspective, like why might they be acting out, or why might they be displaying behavior the way they are. I think it's called Mindful Practice for EC. Yeah, that's the one. So
Alguien más, I'm going to read the question in Spanish. ¿Cómo usted utiliza actualmente los recursos de Better Kid Care? O si hay algunos cursos que a ustedes les gustarían a tener que ellos tuvieran. So yo dije más curso con challenging behavior, o sea, niños que necesitan un poquito más cuidado o tal vez referidos, y también con el social mental de adultos y niños también.
So if people have things, the last two questions that I was wondering about is because we have this project with the National Association of County and City Health Departments. So they're looking for people who collaborate with their local health departments in any way. So if anybody on the call is doing that, I'd love to talk with you, and you can just put your contact information in chat, or I'll put mine there and you can send me an email. And the other piece is we have the opportunity with Dr. Timothy Shope. So he's one of the editors of the managing infectious diseases in childcare centers, that helpful reference. He is answering for us on a consulting basis questions about child vaccines. So we have for a time in this project to forward questions to him. So if there are things on your mind, it's different from our topic today, but if there are either of those things, I'd welcome your communication about them. So I saw that Arlene said she liked the videos, and I made the notes of the courses that Damaris said, and I don't know if there are others.
I have a question, Rebecca. I know that in the past there was conversation about maybe creating some videos with Spanish speaking providers. And you just mentioned some of the videos within the trainings are in English, right?
Yeah.
Is there still some need for that? Like, is Better Kid Care looking to recruit some providers to create some Spanish speaking language videos?
I know I am open to that.
Mm-hmm.
I have done that one other time where I had a translator kind of on my hip, where we went to a family child care provider home and they communicated in Spanish and we recorded it all. We use that footage primarily as B-roll, not a whole lot as a full course with her interviews.
Oh.
The biggest thing that controls us. So the reason we have a lot of health and safety things is because Pennsylvania buys health and safety courses. Georgia buys health and safety courses. Virginia buys health and safety courses. New Jersey buys, so that's a lot of what happens in the development. I think that we would be open to having narrators that speak in Spanish on videos. And I would love, I would love to just, I don't know. I'm just dreaming because I have no power. So don't get too excited.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm not sure si tienen alguna pregunta para Rebecca.
Own thing or tips on being a family childcare professional and have the whole thing be in Spanish. But it would take somebody with some money to say, let's do this. And we often don't have our own pool of money.
Mm-hmm.
I will make a note that it was expressed though,
Mm-hmm.
because you never know. Sometimes it takes a pool of energy around an idea.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I think I saw a hand raised from Arlene.
Yeah, that was me. I'm so sorry. I had to jump in because, hi everyone. My name is Arlene Ray, and I have 20 years of preschool teaching and nanny work. I also work with children in preschool and in family homes. And I have to say that Better Kid Care is one of the most dynamic platforms for resources that I have ever taken. Also, I refer Better Kid Care a lot because I belong to also a big nanny community, and a lot of times they are looking for resources on how to better take care of the children that they care for. So a lot of times when I see those questions come up, the first thing I do, I find a link and I send it to them because it is so essential. For it doesn't matter what platform you're caring for kids, whether it's in the daycare, whether it's in the home, it is so essential to have those, to know where to get those learning development resources from to you know, to help care for children, and you know, and use that for helping the children to learn and the families. So I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. I need to talk to you about once a week just to kind of keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it really helped me a lot, because when I worked at when I worked for a Penn Children's Center here in Philadelphia, because I'm here in
Yes.
Philadelphia. What they did was to onboard us into the program. We had to take the courses from Better Kid Care program. They also have a packet. I don't know if it's still there, because I haven't used it in a while, but it's a 10-hour packet that you guys have for onboarding first time or anybody that's coming into the daycare facilities or the children learning centers. It's a you know, onboarding package that was so helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty much what I just had to jump in there, because I really do. I love Better Kid Care courses. It's I highly recommend them. They're
Well,
so
thank
great.
you.
Thank you,
I
Arlene.
was going to say, I'm going to stay on the call. I'll stay on the call. And so if I saw at the very end of the agenda, there's an opportunity for people to ask questions, I'll just kind of mute and listen as Laurie presents. I'm sure I'm going to learn from her. And if people have other questions, they know how to get me.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Rebecca.
you.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you all.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rosanna.
Yeah, so I would like to introduce Laurie Litz, and she's the director of Teach Early Childhood Pennsylvania. And I want to tell you thank you for everything that you're doing with INPACA and Teach. As a Teach recipient, not only with 1 degree from Teach, but 2 degrees with Teach, I am so appreciative of this program and this scholarship opportunity. And I always let anyone I encounter that's willing to go into higher ed about this opportunity. So thank you so much. And you have the floor, Laurie. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks for the opportunity to be here. It's funny, Rebecca, what you said. I totally learned more about Better Kid Care than I ever knew before. So it is so helpful for me to be parts of these conversations as well. So thanks for the information you shared. And so I have a lot of slides that I forwarded to Damaris, and I don't think we're going to be able to dig deep into all of them.
But I put them all in. They're all in there.
I just want to make sure you all have the information. She has the PDF handouts of these PowerPoints. And Damaris, I'm just really realizing now that we have an information sheet that talks about all the types of scholarships that we have available, and it is translated into Spanish. So I will get that to you as a follow-up. I totally forgot to send that.
Thank you.
Summit kind of took my brain elsewhere for a couple of weeks. So I'm back. I'm back now. So I'm hoping that some of you, or if not all of you, have just heard at least the name Teach Scholarships. We are a program that's available in Pennsylvania for people working in the early childhood education field. Our program is administered by the Pennsylvania Child Care Association, or PACA, and our funding comes through the state of Pennsylvania through the Office of Child Development and Early Learning. So we're very appreciative to OCTEL for the funding that they provide for us to be able to offer scholarships to people working in the field of early childhood education. So next slide. This really is going to be about whatever information you need to have. The presentation I forwarded is actually geared more towards staff working in the field who would like to apply for the scholarship. We also have a separate presentation that's strictly for employers and about how to balance Teach as a sponsoring employer. And so we can always share that information afterwards as well. But we kind of wanted to put out these basics and let you know that, Teach offers the opportunity for people to earn a degree in early childhood education, or possibly multiple degrees in early childhood education, debt-free. So our students, our participants pay a portion of their costs, but they're able to graduate without debt, which is really important. Nobody needs more debt these days. And I'll talk about how the program works, just kind of as a general overview, how to find out more about our partner higher ed institutions, and next steps for people who want to enroll in college, whether it's for yourself or any of your staff, whatever it might be. And then really just get any questions answered for you before we have to sign off today. So next slide. So as I mentioned, we're part of a national network of Teach scholarship programs that are now operating in 24 states, which is really exciting. So we get to share ideas and borrow things from other states and learn what they're doing. Again, in Pennsylvania, we're administered by PACA. We have completely federal funding, which comes through the state, through the Office of Child Development and Early Learning. And the amount of money we have, which is not quite $4.5 million, will serve about 900 to 1,000 people in a year. And in our office, we have an intake specialist who processes all of our applications. We have teach counselors, which provide support to potential applicants, current scholars, sponsoring employers, and they act as a liaison to our partner higher ed institutions. And then there's myself. So we're a pretty small team. We have 4 counselors, but we're all available, whether it's for in-person events or just by phone or email, to help provide technical assistance and support around how the program works. All of our counselors have experience working in early childhood programs in Pennsylvania. So that's a requirement of their job. And they also have degrees in early childhood education. So they've been part of the field for a really long time. And we're very fortunate to have staff that have been working either with PACA or in the field in Pennsylvania for a really long time. So next slide. So the benefits of Teach for the actual individual staff person or teacher in a classroom is that you have those counselors to support and encourage you, just random questions about next steps at a college or whatever it is. If we don't have the answer, we'll connect you to whoever might be able to assist you. As I mentioned before, debt-free education is definitely one of the key benefits of Teach. And then obviously, as you're taking courses or as staff are taking courses, they're learning skills and knowledge and increasing their confidence each and every day that they're in class, because they're able to take what they're learning in their own courses and apply it directly to their own classrooms at their place of employment. So it's a pretty quick impact. And obviously, as they get more college courses and credits, people start to receive promotions and increase their professional status and their earnings too, and hopefully their job satisfaction as well. So that's just a quote from one of our previous Teach scholars. So next slide. I see there's a question in the chat box, and yes, Community College of Philadelphia is one of our partner institutions, so teachers can enroll through those classes, whether it's individually on their own or whether it's through like First Steps Learn and Earn program. Teach is available for students attending CCP. These are the 5 C's of Teach, so our kind of C components. And I'm not going to go into depth here, but this just really looks at everything that the scholarship provides. So there's the scholarships or the financial support and logistical support through a counselor, college education. Each year that somebody's in the program, they receive compensation from their employer. And then in return for that, provide an employment commitment, usually for an additional year after each scholarship year. And of course, I think I've mentioned the counselor at least 10 times right now, but probably Rosanna can attest to the fact that I think Jen was your counselor. They're there. They're just there to help you through it. They don't smother you, but they're there if you need anything. So, okay, next slide. So these are the types of scholarships that we have available, and this is based on the funding that we have through Octal right now. Just know that all of these scholarship types are available for people who are working in DHS certified childcare centers, group homes, and even for family childcare providers. So we have different types of models for associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, teacher certification. So if you or someone has a bachelor's degree in another area, you can pursue level 1 teacher certification at the master's level. And even if you already have your level 1 teaching certification, you can earn your level 2 teaching certification. We also have something that's called a student teaching only model, and that is for people who need to complete student teaching out of their center. So that's pretty in depth, it's pretty detailed, so we won't go into it today, but just know it's available. And then for people who aren't sure about taking the minimum number of requirements or minimum number of credits for our scholarships, which is typically 9 in a year, so it's 3 courses, you can start with a first step option, which just means you take 1 to 2 classes over a year's period of time and see if it's going to work for you. You can kind of ease into a little bit. Likewise, there's a last step option for people who are close to graduating, and it'll cover 1 to 2 courses. So we definitely recommend that employers and interested classroom teachers or whoever they might be, reach out to us if they have questions, but to look on our website and see what's available. Oh, good, thank you. You're way ahead of me. So the scholarship requirements, these are the basics in a nutshell, and I realize it's a lot of text and a lot of information. So we don't expect you to come away from this overview today knowing everything and remembering everything about Teach, but it's just to give you an idea about how the program works. And then you can reach back out to our office to, talk through the logistics, figure out if you can sponsor somebody or how to get staff started, or maybe it's for yourself as well. So we have scholarship models for, classroom staff, whether it's assistant teachers, lead teachers, assistant directors, directors of programs. We have all sorts of different models available. So in terms of if an applicant applies to us and they receive a scholarship, they just agree to take between 9 and 15 credit hours in a year's period of time. That scholarship year can start at any time. It can start for fall, it can start for spring, or it can start for summer. We try to keep people getting into school throughout the year so that they're not worried about having to wait till the fall semester before they can enroll. As long as we have funding available, we'll continue to award scholarships throughout the year. The scholarship recipient has to pay a portion of tuition and books. It's 5% of tuition and fees, which usually at a 2-year institution is about $40 a class, and at a 4-year institution, it's about double that, or $80 per course. So it's affordable. It's designed to be affordable, but that also has a student investment and an employer investment. And then again, remaining at their sponsoring employer, or if you're a family child care provider, to continue to operate your family child care home for that commitment period, which is typically a year. So if it takes somebody 4 years to earn their degree, it just means they're either working for their employer or operating their family child care home for a total of 5 years minimum. Okay, thank you for commenting on the information being available in Spanish on our website. So thank you. So in terms of sponsoring employers, this is in order for somebody to qualify for Teach or be able to apply for Teach, their employer has to agree to support them in the process of going back to school. They pay, employers pay a percentage of cost as well. That's that 5% of tuition and fees each semester. The employer also agrees to give paid release time each week that the student's enrolled. That's by far, directors tell us, the most challenging component. But what we try to do is provide as much technical assistance and tips and tricks, whatever we can do to help you take advantage of that release time component so that your staff person can be successful and that the employer then receives reimbursement for those paid release time hours. They can be used, that reimbursement can be used to cover a substitute, or if a substitute's not needed, you're still qualified to receive the release time reimbursement. And then at the end of each scholarship year, the employer agrees to give the staff person a raise or a bonus. It's typically a 4% raise or $600 bonus. And then on our end, like I said, we provide the counseling and administrative support. We pay the majority of expenses and then track all sorts of information so we can report back to our funders and to our national office about the amazing progress and accomplishments of the people who receive funding. So one thing to note about our scholarships is that the program is designed to be widely available. Oftentimes people hear the word scholarship and they think it's academic based, when in actuality, it's really, it's meant to be widely available for people working in early childhood programs across Pennsylvania. Okay, next slide. Okay, so the money, how much money? Show me the money. Go ahead to the next slide. Thank you. This just shows, it's a general overview of how a scholarship contract works for a staff person. It lasts for a year, 12 months concurrent, you know, from the time they start, whatever semester that is, whether it's fall, spring, or summer. We will continue to renew that scholarship contract each year as long as the students meeting the requirements, the employer still wants to sponsor the person, and you know, funding is available. That's always the third component. But yeah, once somebody has a scholarship, it automatically renews each year, and people can stop at any time. We realize that life happens, and oftentimes, you know, sometimes, you know, people need to take a break. They might have to take a semester off. So we try to work with our students as much as possible just to make sure they're continuing to be successful, getting the supports they need, and but also taking time out if they need to do that for themselves. And again, the 1 year employment commitment. So the financial supports that show me the money part of what's available is Teach covers 90% of tuition and approved fees and 75% of book costs. But we handle tuition through a direct billing process. So when our students register, they don't have to pay out of pocket. If they do, it's probably like a one-time application fee. But for the most part, students can go ahead and register. They don't have to pay out of pocket. The college or university will bill PACA, and then we collect the 5% from the student and the employer in our office. Students typically purchase books up front and will reimburse 75% of that cost. Employers can purchase the books on behalf of the scholarship recipient as well. They also receive a $125 travel stipend each semester. It's automatic once they're registered for classes. And then students also receive the paid release time from their employer. The maximum is 90 hours per semester, but it's based on the number of credits that they take. So it can be 45 hours for a 3-credit course, or 90 hours for 2 3-credit courses, or 6 credits total. So I realize this is a lot of detail, but like I said, we're available to follow up with any questions, or if you need more information about how it works, we're happy to help and respond either by email or phone, or whatever is most convenient for you. And then again, the students will receive, or the employees will receive, either a $600 bonus or 4% raise each year. So we talked a little bit about the costs for the tuition and fees for the recipients. It's about $40 per 3-credit course at a 2-year institution. And the 25% of book costs, that varies. Some people don't have book costs because they've got free downloadable materials or whatever it might be. And sometimes the book costs are a little bit higher depending on the courses and what the needs are of those courses. So, or requirements, I'm sorry. And then again, the recipients are just required to complete between 9 and 15 credits, which is 3 to 5 courses each year. Oh, yeah, you can go ahead. Thanks. This is just an overview of release time. Again, we know it's complex. We know it takes a lot of planning and discussion on the part of, you know, employers to figure out how am I going to do this? And we're available in our office to support you in that process. But release time is basically paid time off for students to just balance going to college, working full-time or almost full-time, handling life responsibilities, their family responsibilities, but without having to lose pay or use their own leave time. They can use the time to get to class, study, handle personal needs, and there's a variety of ways you can schedule it. But the most important part is working, the scholarship recipient and the employer working together to get the hours scheduled, because One, it's going to make the staff person, it's going to give them every opportunity to be as successful as possible in their classes. And two, the employer gets reimbursement to cover substitute costs if they need to. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide because I know we have a little time, but I want to get to some of the other slides too. So here's the eligibility for somebody who's applying. This is the eligibility criteria. You have to be employed by a Pennsylvania a Pennsylvania DHS certified program. You have to be a Pennsylvania resident and working at least 25 hours or more per week. We do have an income guideline. We'd like for this to be regionally based so that it could be more reflective and encompassing of applicants that are in areas of the state that, pay rates are higher. So we're working with the state on that to see what data is available. But for right now, teachers have to be earning less than $21.63 per hour. That said, we are able to apply for special approval if someone meets request special approval if all of the other eligibility criteria are met. Again, so it's really designed to be widely available. It's not academic based, although once you're in the program, you do have to continue to meet the academic requirements of the college or university to be able to continue in the program. Okay, next slide. This is where people can find out more information about our partner institutions. There are degree programs that are located online, some that are all, in person, some that are hybrid. So we definitely want people to check out the information that's posted on this page, and you can always reach out to our office. If someone's having difficulty or not sure which institution to pick, we can provide more information about each of them that would help people to make that decision based on what they feel like would be their best fit. Okay, next slide. So these are just next steps that we recommend if somebody's interested in getting started. So whether it's for yourself or you have staff. Next slide. Okay, so this is important information. Kind of planning ahead, our spring application deadline. So we're talking about classes that start in January of 2024, which will not seem like spring at all, but that's the name of the semester. Our application deadline is Friday, November 17th. So that's coming up in just under a month. So if somebody's interested in getting in for spring, we recommend that they apply now, soon, as soon as possible. We don't have our summer and fall 2024 application deadlines set yet, but this just gives you an idea of when they'll be. And we accept applications on a continuing basis. You can submit an application at any time, but any applications that we receive by Friday, November 17th, those will receive priority consideration for any scholarship slots that we have available for spring. We do have a substantial amount of funding from Octal, but unfortunately it's not unlimited. So oftentimes we find we end up having some more applicants than funding available. And if that's the case, then those applicants are waitlisted until the following semester. So earlier is always better, even though nobody's thinking about January right now. I can't believe October is going to be over soon.
I was going to say, speak for yourself. I'm already Christmas shopping.
I wish I could be so ahead of the game. I'm the worst at that. So, okay, next slide.
Sure.
That's just a look. I'm going to put, I think I had copied and pasted the link in here. Hang on one second. Here's the link to our how to apply page. This just gives you a little snapshot of what it looks like. So you know what's there, but I did put it in the chat box, and we can, I think, go to the next slide. I don't know how much time we have for questions, but I'm happy to address any of them right now. I do want to let you know that, well, I mentioned it before, we have our scholarship model information sheet, which is translated into Spanish. I'll get that out to Damaris right after today's meeting. We do not have any bilingual staff, Spanish-speaking staff in our office, but we do have a translator who is readily available. So we just have to, because she has kind of like her other job that she does, in addition to her consulting, we just have to schedule any phone calls in advance with her, but her schedule is very flexible. Or if you'd rather communicate by email, she helps us translate those emails and get the information you're looking for back to you within a short period of time. Okay, I think that's everything I had.
And of course, Latinos Educando Juntos would be more than happy to help facilitate some of those questions and
Thank you so
translate
much.
or bring it back. Sí, algunas preguntas para Lori? Oh, I think something's in the chat. Did we see anything in chat? I'm a bilingual person on customer service, just always like, okay, thank you.
Well, whatever I know this was a lot of information for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to absorb. And like I said, we don't expect that you're going to take this and be like, oh, I know everything I need to know about Teach.
Right.
Well, we know that doesn't happen. But what we want you to have is just the basics of, okay, this is what Teach is. It's available. And I'm going to have to figure out how it's going to work for me or for my program. And at that point in time, when you're ready to do that, reach out to our office. And like I said, we can schedule phone calls, Zoom calls, go via email back and forth, whatever is most convenient for you to help you understand what the requirements are and how to get started, whether you're applying for yourself or thinking about it for your staff. So we, yeah, that's what we're there for, to help in whatever way we can.
Thank you so much, Lori. I really
Sure.
appreciate you coming down, sharing all this wonderful information. I hope everyone had the chance to kind of think about those people at the beginning with the icebreaker questions and when they're going to go back to school, what they want to do, who wants to go back to school and finish their associates or bachelors. I hope you also think about applying for Teach immediately, because it's you should do it ahead of time, right? Ahead of time. That's the perfect word I want to use. You should do it ahead of time. So thank you again for coming down. I will be sharing these slides with everyone after this meeting. All right. Did you want to do your next steps, or is that did you cover this? Because this is next.
I did not. That's okay. It's just just extra information, but this is if people are considering getting started, this is what to do. There's a lot of steps involved, and we don't want that to be the barrier to someone getting started or an employer getting started. So it's the earlier people plan for the process, the better, because we feel like this is the big hump to get to the actual work of going to class and learning and bringing all that wonderful knowledge back to your classrooms or to your programs, whatever it is. So, but we just want to make sure everybody doesn't miss a step, because that can hold people up. And again, reach out to any of us anytime. We're happy to help.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go next with the updates and what's new, what's been going on, what LEJ and First Up has been up to. So here we go. I wanted to go back, and we have one of our celebrities in this call. And we kicked off the Hispanic Heritage Month with the Hispanic Literacy Festival. And these are our pictures of our wonderful authors that donated their time with us. They really had a great time connecting with the children. We gave out a whole bunch of Spanish and English books. And Arlene Ray is here on our call today. She was one of our authors. And I want to thank you 20,000 times, Arlene, for you're just so amazing. You was, with the kids, you were with the families, you were just with us, you were everywhere. And I really, really appreciate you guys. It was a wonderful event. We're happy that we were able to support and bring literacy in our own neighborhoods and show children representation of other fields, right? And that anything is possible. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. There also, during the Hispanic Heritage Month, we were accepting nominations for Hispanic Heroes or Heroines in ACE. We had 21 nominations where anyone was able to nominate and then we brought it back to kind of like the board, and then we kind of started like providing these nominations and really shouting them out on social media, and in addition to social media on the website and so on and so forth. So these are our 21 heroes and heroines in ECE during 2023 Hispanic Heritage Month. A lot of them, I'm pretty sure they're on this call. So congratulations to you guys. But if you were not shouted out, it was not on purpose, because I feel everybody is a hero and a heroine. But these, definitely, because these people were nominated, these are the ones that kind of like were highlighted, because we weren't pulling them out. We wanted people to really identify why they should be heroes and heroines. So in our social medias and also in our website, you will actually read some bios and some amazing things that mostly everyone here, the 21 people, has done, and work they've done in the communities, or work they've done with children in the classrooms, or provider-led. One of them is State Representative Danilo Burgos. He was nominated, and just because of his support for the ECE in the Latino community. So congratulations to our heroes and heroines in 2023 Hispanic Heritage Month, and pa'lante. So here I wanted to share really exciting news and some work that's happening underneath LEJ umbrella, and this is called Latin Lift. I love the name, it's just so powerful. But the Latin Lift is an organization that's actually dedicated, or LEJ, sorry, I'm going to transfer this to English because I think we've translated both, and then I'll bring it back to Spanish. Sorry, guys. Oops, wrong. Okay, so Latin Lift program focus group, we're going to have 4 focus groups, which is November 8th, November 15th, November 22nd, and November 29th. It's only going to be for 1 hour. There's a small stipend for you guys to attend. I try to do it during lunchtime so folks can actually attend, and I'm not taking up too much of your time, but we want to have conversations on what is needed in the field. When we have these conversations every year, we're going on our 3rd year under the Latinos Educando Juntos and First Stop umbrella, where we've had all these meetings, and you said, at one point you said there's no enough professional development in our language. There's not enough grant opportunities in our language. There's not enough this. And, we've advocated, right? And we came and lifted our voices, and now we're seeing Octal translating emails in Spanish. We have more professional development opportunities in Spanish. We have more grant opportunities in Spanish. I feel like we have done some really tremendous work, but the work is not done. And so we want to invite you to join our focus groups. I think Rosanna's going to drop the link inside the chat. We invite you to join us, and let's have some real conversations. Okay, this work is not done yet, but this is the barriers that we're still missing. Maybe it can be in leadership. Maybe it would be in advocacy work. Maybe even in our own families, supports for our families or our teachers or even our students. So we welcome you to the focus group so we can start collecting some more updated data and help us help you. We are excited to share that through the generous sponsorship of Esperanza, they approved us, so don't say nothing. I know we have some Esperanza folks on the call, but we are actually, we wanted you to save the date. Our next second conference is going to be on June 15th, 2023. There's a link there for the tickets, and there's also a save the date reminder. Rosanna's going to put that link inside the chat box. We do have keynote speakers. We're going to have 6 sessions for you to choose from, some piquas hours, some delicious meals. For those of you that came last year, you know what I'm talking about. We are going to do the champion awards again, the gifts and the raffles, and just some good old time. This time around, we are going to offer a little bit more because we only offer 2 sessions or 3 at the same time. This time around, we decided to do it a little bit different, and we're just going to spread the sessions a little bit more. But it's still going to be phenomenal, so we hope to see you there. Otra vez, el desarrollo de profesional. We also, under Latinos Educando Juntos, is a training organization, and we're providing professional development training as well. And if your team requires a personalized in-person professional development, we will be able to bring the team to your organization. So if you need that, and we do it in English and Spanish as well, and we have actually been approved to many of the Keystone Stars requirements. So is that, diversity, inclusion, literacy. We do have a couple of them like on observations, how to be culturally linguistic into your programs, or sensitivity to your program, all these trainings. I can't remember how many of them were there, but they are approved, and you can find them under the PA keys on the Latinos Educando Juntos, if you guys are interested. Okay, here goes big shout out. We have the Esperanza Conference. Rosanna, you want to say a little bit something about the Esperanza Conference? That's me, guys. That's me. I'm the keynote speaker. I'm so excited. Rosanna, you want to introduce? Yeah.
Claro, dame mencionar, aquí tenemos el flyer, lo tenemos en inglés y español. Nuevamente, Esperanza ha traído un evento para la comunidad, no solamente para educadores, pero también para familias, para padres que se identifican con la necesidad de conocer un poco más sobre el desarrollo de sus niños y conocer un poco más qué pueden ellos hacer en sus casas. Ahí me tienen a mí, Rosana, como presentadora nuevamente este año con mis sesiones en español. Tenemos a Damaris como la oradora principal, y vamos a estar en el Colegio de Esperanza, noviembre 11, y va a ser todo el día. So, separen esa fecha porque se va a gozar mucho y se va a aprender bastante. Puse el enlace en el cuadro de chat para que ustedes puedan registrarse porque hay espacios limitados. So, vayan y se registren rapidito. Feel like I just did a commercial for Univision.
Right, that was good. That was a good answer. I think you should get hired as their marketing expert. It sounds sexy. It sounds sexy. Aquí está otro recurso. Este es the Interconnected Impact Summit. Esto es noviembre 4, 2023. Esto es para estrategias de business. So business, focusing on strengthening business practices. This is from the Goldman Sachs and Community College of Philadelphia. So vamos a estar ahí adentro. I'm going to say it in English so I can keep it one stop. I'm sorry, I'm going to stay focused. We're going to be there with a whole bunch of keynotes, a bunch of presenters, and Fine McNeil is actually our MC. She's a goddess. I love her. But so much information, so much business resources for you guys to the tip of your fingers. So come down. Hope you can make it and run that room because there's a lot of things in there for you. And now I leave you to la famosa Rosana Matos.
All right. Ok, yo voy a hablar en español. Voy a continuar con el proceso. ¿Están en la línea? ¿Ustedes están durmiendo o todavía están con nosotros? Tírame un 1 o algo en el chat box, un hola.
No, yo estoy oyendo, están roncando.
Quiero saber que me están escuchando. Ok, 3 personas, 4 personas.
Please register, yep.
5, ok. Tenemos 5 personas pendientes de las 25. Suani, Araceli, ¿está ahí? Ok.
Están roncando.
Ahí van. Bueno, sabemos que mi trabajo en First Up principalmente es de defensora para la educación temprana, defensor. ¿Qué es un defensor? Tú eres un defensor y yo soy una defensora. Las cosas que yo hago a través de mi posición ahí en First Up, pues influye en algunas decisiones políticas, así informando a los políticos sobre las necesidades de ustedes, los proveedores, las necesidades de la familia y los niños. También participo en eventos de acción. Voy a quizá un evento de la comunidad, un evento donde se puede seguir hablando sobre ser defensor y la abogacía y mucho más. ¿Y qué tú puedes hacer como defensor? Puedes unirte a la campaña, ¿verdad? Start Strong PA, Pre-K for PA. También puedes planear una visita a tu legislador o invitarlo a ellos que te visiten a ti. Puedes escribir una carta en el periódico para que el periódico publique el trabajo duro y esforzoso que ustedes hacen todos los días. Puede ir a la capital de Harrisburg, como lo hicimos en mayo, que aparecimos ahí como 60 latinos haciendo mucho ruido.
Y lo vamos a hacer otra vez. Y lo vamos a hacer otra vez.
Y lo vamos a hacer otra vez y creo que un poco más pronto, Damaris, porque
Okay.
le quiero decir esto que se me ocurrió esta semana. ¿Qué parece si nos llevamos una parranda para el Capitolio en diciembre? Una parranda con instrumento y mucho alboroto. ¿Quién se une a eso? Ponme ahí en el cuadro de chat, por favor.
I'm down. I'm down. So I
Yes.
don't know. Do we know what is a parranda in English?
It's
'Cause
like
I would like-
caroling, but with a very big upbeat too.
Yes, yes. So the Hispanic community, we do a lot of
With some
caroling.
salsa.
Yes, al son de plenas. Yes, 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 yes. So it's very
Yes.
cultural music for those of you that don't know. In during the holidays, we just make lots of noise. So we sing, we carol, lots of
Join us in
different
December
instruments.
and you'll see.
And we are looking to. Rosanna was saying, we had a caravan to Harrisburg back in April, and it was like about 50 or 60 of us, which was the biggest. And this year, we want to go back down to Harrisburg and do the caroling, but it's called a plana, like, to a parranda, right? So it's like all of us, so they could really get to feel us. I think that's amazing. I would love to.
Salsa, yes.
Salsa Dazi. Yeah, let's do it. I'm right on the
So
steps.
before then, antes de eso, tenemos 2 o 3 cositas que están pasando. Anda, María, el próximo slide, por favor. Conocemos que ustedes como proveedores pueden hacer diferentes cosas para que demuestren que sí son, que están apoyando la defensa de la edad temprana y de la educación temprana. Y ustedes reciben incentivos o tarjetas de regalo por cosas que quizás ustedes hacen ya todos los días, ¿verdad? Trabajo, si envían trabajo de arte de los niños a su legislador como de agradecimiento para que ellos reconozcan lo que están haciendo en el salón, reciben un gift card de, me parece son 25 o 30 dólares. Si invita a un legislador a tu programa para que le lea a los niños o para que vea tu programa, ¿verdad? Lo bonito que tú lo tienes. Reciben como una tarjeta, me parece como de 120. So, hay incentivo para su esfuerzo y su tiempo en esto. Es un recordatorio. Next. All right. Y sabemos que las elecciones vienen pronto por ahí. En noviembre 7 vamos a escoger nuestro mayor aquí en Filadelfia, en el área de Filadelfia, y va a haber diferentes elecciones. Y nosotros aquí en First Up queremos enseñarle a ustedes, los maestros, pero también a la familia, la importancia de salir a votar, la importancia de que invitamos a los padres que entren a nuestro centro para que vayan a votar. Una de las cosas que mencioné que ustedes pueden hacer como defensor es aprender un poco sobre las personas que están postuladas en el gobierno para entrar a un oficio y conocer cuál es su posición en la educación temprana. Si esas personas van a defender la educación temprana, si esa persona tiene una agenda planificado en qué se va a trabajar para educación temprana. So, queremos que ustedes conozcan de esas personas y voten por ellos, ¿verdad? No te voy a decir quién específicamente, eso tú tienes derecho de votar para quien tú desees, pero quiero que hagan investigaciones y conozcan. Y en este día pueden registrarse conmigo para que cojan ese entrenamiento y conozcan más.
Pero yo sí puedo decir quién. Oh, no, I can't. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Y voy a poner ese enlace en el chat box para que se registren. Eso es la próxima semana, el jueves, y va a ser de noche de 6 a 8, para que escuchen un poquito más sobre este procedimiento. Next. All right. Otra cosa muy importante que estamos diseñando, formalizando ahora mismo, y hemos tenido un poco de algunas sesiones pequeñas sobre cómo nosotros podemos utilizar los educadores hispanos, utilizar su capacidad, su conocimiento, su deseo de hacer más y realmente hacer unas metas y y crear unas conversaciones en este círculo de aprendizaje para que nosotros podamos hacer unos cambios bien grandes en ECE, especialmente aquí en Filadelfia y en Pensilvania, ¿verdad, Damari? So, estamos buscando conocer un poco de cuáles son los deseos de ustedes en cómo quieren que se forma un círculo de aprendizaje, cómo quieren que se vea ese círculo de aprendizaje. So, ahí está el QR code que pueden sacar ahora de un momentito, su teléfono y lo pueden escanear, o el teléfono de su hijo si lo tiene ahí al lado de ti. Pero yo le voy a poner el enlace en el cuadro de chat para que lo puedan llenar. Y sé que estamos poniendo muchas cosas en el cuadro de chat. Por favor, abren todos esos enlaces y los deja abiertos para que puedas regresar a ellos. Pero también en nuestro correo de vuelta, Damari le pone toda esta información a este correo de vuelta. So, eso es principalmente, yo creo que la información que le quiero brindar. No sé si tengo otro slide ahí, Damari. Oh, mira, soy yo otra vez. Cualquiera que sea tu plan, cualquiera que sea lo que tú quieras hacer para continuar siendo defensora de los derechos de los niños, defensora de la educación temprana, yo estoy ahí para ayudarte. Ahí está mi correo electrónico y mi número de teléfono. Por favor, utilízalo para que se comuniquen conmigo si desean hacer alguna visita, si desean conocer más de lo que yo acabo de decir, y podemos formalizar y crear esas metas. So, yo creo que ya mi tiempo se ha acabado, Damari. That was fast.
¿Verdad que sí? Bueno, lo único que le pido a ustedes es, ya estamos terminando casi, pero dejamos tiempo, vamos a hacer algo un poquito diferente. Yo llegué aquí, yo vine en estos días de Puerto Rico, estaba en una conferencia en Puerto Rico, y una cosa que a mí me encantó cuando yo estaba en Puerto Rico era el Region 2 Head Start Conference allá en Puerto Rico. Estaba yo en el cuarto con gente de Chicago, había gente de Illinois, había gente de Nueva York, de New Jersey, anyway, había un montón, ¿verdad? The Melting Pot. Y una cosa que me sucedió a mí, toditos tenemos los mismos problemas, pero no toditos de nosotros tenemos todo el soporte, like all the resources y los recursos, ¿verdad? Y nosotros tenemos más en Pensilvania, aunque no queremos, no lo pensamos, pero tenemos más en Pensilvania de recursos de lo que ellos tienen allá, por lo mismo, tratando de resolver los mismos problemas. Pero una cosa que a mí me encantó es que estábamos en un cuarto entre 35 de nosotros de diferentes áreas, right? Y estábamos hablando y lo que sacamos de cada uno y la información y la idea que sacamos de cada cual fueron recursos que nadie puede suplementar, right? So nobody can how do you say, like, replace it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we would like to provide you guys with that opportunity too, esa oportunidad. So in each session that we're gonna have, we're always gonna leave at least 10 minutes of our call so you guys could go into breakout rooms. And I know you're probably like, another breakout room. No, this breakout room, I want you guys to have at least 10 minutes, even if it's to cry, scream, celebrate, right? Provide ideas. Hey, I'm staff short. What are you guys doing over there? You know, how do you build your people? How do I maximize my teach dollars? Whatever it is that you need, all right? We want you guys to really go into these rooms and speak freely. But before then, I want to share our exit meeting survey, okay? I invite our guest, first, I want to thank our guests for coming down. Thank you so much and for sharing so much valuable information. I also want to invite you guys, if you have 10 minutes, to go into the chat rooms. Maybe they have questions for you as well. And our exit survey is actually in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Our next meeting will be November 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. And of course, we'll be bringing you lots more, hopefully more. If you're willing, if you want to co-host one of our sessions with us, we invite you to do that. Please fill out our exit survey. And Rosanna, if you want to wait just like 1 minute to 2:40, then we can open up the chats.
Okay, so in the meantime, I have put the date to our next session in the chat box and that exit survey right in there. But I have created 3 chat rooms, one to talk about more of the advocacy efforts that I just spoke about, one for the resources that were shared, or one about the resources that they want to share, and just one to socialize. So I'm going to open it up right now.
Perfect. Bye, guys.
Ustedes escogen el que ustedes desean entrar. Pero escogen ahí en su pantalla, debería decir un cuadrito que te diga dónde debe entrar o dónde quisiera entrar. Vamos a estar 10 minutitos ahí, después regresamos y si quieren compartir. Pero realmente estos cuadritos de chats o estos cuadros de breakout room nos ayudan a nosotros a programar para la próxima vez y escuchando lo que ustedes desean ver, pero también para ustedes compartir recursos que tengan con las otras personas. Yes, okay, Andrea. La interpretación se queda aquí en el cuadro principal, pero sí en cada de los cuartos va a haber una persona que habla inglés y español, si es necesario. No se vaya, Andrea. All right. Hay algunas personas que no han escogido que quieren entrar, está bien. Vamos, entonces, tómanse el tiempo de buscar en el cuadro de chat. Tómase tiempo para buscar en el cuadro de chat los diferentes enlaces para que puedan completar esos enlaces, registrarse para los desarrollos profesionales que vienen por ahí y también registrarse para la próxima reunión. Voy a poner esa registración aquí en el cuadro de chat para la próxima reunión, para que ya lo tengan en su calendario desde ya. So, voy a salir un momentito y entrar a uno de los cuartos para verificar que estén bien la información que se está compartiendo y ya regreso de pronto.
And I could stay behind if anybody wants to chat with me. While Rosanna's over there hopping in chats. Yes. So that's fine. I'm in the main room right now, so we could definitely stay here. I think this is the closeout, Andrea. So yeah, we should be fine. Because they're not gonna come back from here. Let me